Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Freeman.
My name is Jude Smith.
My name is Nick Parker.
And my name is Zachary Montgomery.
By chance, have any of you guys ever heard of the three escapees that escaped the Moundsville Penitentiary in 1992?
What? No, I haven't. Who were these people?
Well, their names were Tommy Lee Mullihan, Fred Hamilton, and David Williams.
How did they even escape?
Okay, so they went down 16 feet to burrow 32 feet under the sandstone wall of the Civil War era-like prison.
How did they get down there?
They made a ladder from steel tubing, wing nuts, and bolts, and they covered the entrance of their excavation with a disc of plywood. The letters SEWER, which spelled sewer, chiseled out to resemble a manhole cover.
Do you know if they had any help from the inside? Or did they just do it all on their own?
Well, get this. 2 days after the escape, West Virginia Corrections Commissioner Ron Gregory resigned. A retired Army military police colonel was named Tuesday to replace him.
Oh my.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the three escapees remained at large that Friday night. Authorities were focusing their search on the area near Moundsville. Officials said they had received numerous amounts of reports of sightings of the trio. Some people stated that they were heading toward Charleston in a dark green four-door sedan. Then, on Monday, Hamilton surfaced by abducting a man named Richard Porter at gunpoint around 10 miles from the Moundsville Penitentiary, and he then forced him to drive about 150 miles to Erie, Pennsylvania. But luckily, Richard Porter was not harmed at all.
But why would Hamilton do that? It doesn't make much sense.
I agree, it is a little weird, but after this, Hamilton told officials that he tried to rob a store there to get gas and money before continuing on to California, heading to Pebble Beach.
But why were they even arrested in the first place?
Okay, this is a lot, so bear with me. Hamilton was serving 3 consecutive life terms with parole possible. Williams was arrested for first-degree murder with parole possible. Mullihan was serving life without parole for first-degree murder. Mullihan was also indicted for breaking and entering during Mercer County's grand jury session. Detective Kenny Adams with the Bluefield WVA Police Department told 59 News on December 28, 1972, Mary Osborne, who was 66 years old at the time, was found dead at the First Church of God in Bluefield, West Virginia. Osborne often helped out the church and was a big part of her community. The cause of death was with a hammer. Mercer County prosecutor George Sittler told 59 News Sergeant Jim Dent of Bluefield, West Virginia Police Department was the first investigator in 1972, and he discovered a fingerprint at the crime scene. But it wasn't until September of 2017 that Tommy Mullihan was tied to these charges.
That's terrible. And with a hammer? Not to interrupt you, Kevin, but this episode actually has a sponsor.
Oh, yes. How could I have forgotten? Thank you to Swift Security for sponsoring this video. Now, some of you may be asking, what does Swift Security do that your standard security company doesn't do?
Oh, it does a lot more.
Indeed, it does. Swift Security starts at low prices of $10.99 a month, and the technology is so far advanced that it offers heat-sensing technology in the cameras to detect any body heat from anybody in the camera's radius. It also sets up borders to tell you who is lurking around your home. To protect mistakes, have your family and people who are commonly around your household and community scan their faces into the camera. Overall, Swift security is the best way to protect your family from any invaders and anybody that's just lurking around your house. Moundsville sure wishes they had this from the penitentiary escape in 1992.
Oh, yes, they do. Thank you, Swift Security, for sponsoring this video.
Now, back to the story at hand. Jude, you asked with the hammer, and yes, it was with the hammer. But that is not all. Mollahan and Williams escaped the prison April 3rd, 1988 as well. Williams was found almost a month later in southern West Virginia, and Mollahan was recaptured on May 9th, almost 10 miles from the prison.
Oh my, there's so much information here. Can you summarize it?
Yeah, of course I can. So, Fred Hamilton, Tommy Lee Mollahan, and David Williams escaped from Moundsville Penitentiary in 1992. They went down 16 feet to burrow 32 feet under the wall of the prison, using a ladder made from steel tubing, wing nuts, and bolts, and covered the entrance of their excavation with a disc to resemble a manhole cover. They remained at large Friday night. Hamilton resurfaced by abducting Richard Porter at gunpoint about 10 miles from the Moundsville Penitentiary, forcing him to drive to Erie, which is 150 miles away. Hamilton was serving 3 consecutive life terms of parole possible. Williams was arrested for first-degree murder with parole possible, and Mollahan was serving life without parole for first-degree murder. Also, Mollahan and Williams escaped on April 3rd, 1988, before escaping in 1992 as well. So yeah, they did escape before as well in 1988, and you may be wondering on what they did while they were out, because I mean that's twice that they escaped. Well, the first time, police stated that Mollahan befriended a dog, so he was slowed down during their chase. Mollahan really loves the outdoors and used his knowledge of it to help him out.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's a lot, Kevin.
Yeah. And to close it out, we're just going to read you some fun facts that we discovered about the Moundsville Penitentiary. The prison is supposedly haunted.
The prison was officially built in 1866.
From 1899 to 1959, there were 94 men executed at the prison.
Starting in 1899, all the executions before 1950 were hangings. This changed in 1959 when the electric chair became the new method of execution.
From the years 1866 to 1995, nearly 2,000 prisoners were held inside the penitentiary at any given time.
It took 33 years to build the first half of the prison and 30 years to build the second half of the prison.
Each cell in the prison was 5 feet by 7 feet.
In modern day, the penitentiary does tours only and has a haunted attraction.
And the most infamous prisoner to ever walk the halls of the penitentiary was William Red Snyder, who was a gang leader in the penitentiary. And as being a gang leader, you're going to have rivals, and people are not going to like you. So William Red Snyder was murdered in his cell, and people who venture the hallways say they can still hear his raspy voice call out.
Charles Munson wanted to be transferred to the penitentiary as it was closer to home, but he was denied.
Well, that was the story of the 1992 Moundsville prison escape. We thank you for listening, And we hope you all continue to have a very good day.